You know, if I was smart, I would have a heavy cardboard mug, but eh. Good morning, y'all. Nope, afternoon, isn't it? It's 12:27. Whatever, close enough. All right, how is everybody? I suppose I ought to bring up chat, huh? Let's do that. Now, I wasn't kidding when I said like 45 minutes to an hour. This is a legitimate. That's all we're doing today because I got laundry. When I hear laundry go off, we're done. Not only that, but I got to finish Gentis prep for today's review for the episode, and then I still have a lot of emails to catch up. That's the bane of my that is the worst part of the show, I think, is if I don't stay up on emails. First world problem. Let's face it, we're all in first world, so they're all first world problems, right? But anyway. So, hi everybody. All right, so what do we got? All right, so I noticed that Jeff emailed me questions. That's not good enough. He asked for it. He better show up. We don't begin until Jeff's here. Oh, hi, Jeff. Apparently, we can begin. Okay. I was just expecting Slack to be like, Jeff, get your ass in here. No, anyway. Hey, Jeff, aren't you the one running for public office? Right? Is that what it is? Right? I think it was Jeff, right? Ooh. Oh. Hold on, I didn't hook up my... See, I did this all in a rush and didn't get all my cable all set up and... Dainty cubes are amazing wooden bits. Depends on the application, honestly, Cave Hines, since you're only popping in for a second. That, if the amazing wooden bits are functional first and they don't impact negatively the gameplay, then sure, why not, right? Cool. All right. Nice. Sell it, Jeff. Sell it. All right, so I'm going to go back to the top and start there. I'm not kidding. 1 hour, because I'm going to get in trouble by Amanda if I'm not fully prepped and have gotten through the HeavyCon, have that all updated and made a chunk in the emails. So I get to blame Jeff. That's how this works. All right, so here we go. Nick, I'll start with the questions. Other than getting Amanda full-time, what's your biggest wish for Heavy Cardboard right now? Other than Amanda full-time, because I'll be honest, from a selfish standpoint, that would make my life so much easier. Because that, and I wouldn't have to see her tired all the time. Do we want the PC answer or do we want the true answer? The true answer is bigger audience. Other than that, like, yeah, it's hard, man. I mean, the studio finished. So the second studio over there, the war game or the block war game stuff, I think that, and it's just a matter of timing, and that's just going to wait until the 3 conventions are over. Right now, I think that's it. Really, I'm pretty happy with the trajectory of everything, and I feel like the content that we're putting out is good. But that said, I am going to make a personal concerted effort to really show the podcast some extra love this month, because I feel like the The advent was live streaming focused, and last week was a really big week for the live streams. But I've heard from a couple of people that feel like the podcast is getting short shrift a little. I don't know that I agree that it's getting short shrift. The thing that folks have to realize is the video is easier. No, let me rephrase that. It requires less prep. So like the reviews, right? We have to be able to play a game 4, 5, 6 times. I don't know about y'all, but I mean, that takes 4, 5, 6 days to be able to, if we were to play the game every day in a row, that's how long it would take. I'm not complaining. You guys know I'm not complaining. It's just, this is just simple fact. So I think in February, we're going to make this like podcast focus February. Obviously, we're still going to do our live streams, and we have some really, really big news that I just don't want to announce yet because we haven't signed any paperwork yet. That's supposed to happen today or this weekend. But that affects the video side of things. But the podcast, like I want to do at least one designer feature, and I want to do at least one mechanism feature on the show. So those two are coming. So tonight is going to be Gentis, the review of that. There you go. Here's a little secret. We are going to be offering a 1 free pledge level as a giveaway to a listener to the podcast tonight on the review. So be sure to listen to that. We announced the Pixie Queen winner tonight and tomorrow. And I think it was Kenny that mentioned this. So I tried to get a copy of 1822 during the live stream. Didn't work out. However, Kenny, I think, said, I wasn't expecting that, but for a giveaway, like maybe some pretty cool player aids or something like that. And I was like, so I talked to Tony. He made up a set of 1822 player aids, custom player aids, that we're going to give away on tomorrow's live stream for 1860. I realize it should be for 1860, but work with me. All right. It's a giveaway. It's free. So that's what's coming. Yeah. Wow. Okay. There you go. That totally wasn't at all what you asked, Nick. Huh. I do this for a living. I talk. It's what I do. You ought to hear me at my therapist. Whew. All right, let's see. Moving on. Dutch Yoda. Have you ever had to design your own game, and what would the theme be? Absolutely 100% never. Truly, I'm like one of 4 people in the entire hobby has zero interest in designing. None. My brain just does not work that way. I'm constantly amazed at, because I saw Mike Keller in here. I'm amazed at what y'all do, at what designers come up with. I cannot come up with that shit at all. I can refine it. I feel like I would be a decent developer, but I don't think I really want to do developing, even though I think I'd be good at it. But no. So no, zero interest in ever designing a game. I mean, none at all. So no, I'm happy with my station in life. I'm happy being a person that reviews these games and, interacts with the community and builds the community. I'm good with this. What's the history of Davis? All right. So actually there is actually a pretty good thing here. So for those that don't know, heavy cardboard originally was going to be weighted cardboard. Whew. Dodged that one, didn't we? So back before the first episode, we were trying to come up with names. We were brainstorming. It was me, Amanda, Tony. I don't know if anybody else was involved in it at that point, but we were trying to come up. We came up with a ton of different names and everything. Weighted cardboard was what episode 0, which you guys will never hear. Episode 0, Shipyard. That's what weighted cardboard is what it was going to be. Well, okay, heavy, right? All that. And Amanda found Davis, and we bought Davis. So the elephant, obviously, the logo, and then she made a custom font for the cracked heavy, and she designed everything around Davis. And we didn't have a name for him, but all mascots should have a name, right? Well, we all like train games, more so now than we did, but we all like train games, and we were like, hey, So Amanda's grandfather used to work for BNSF, Burlington Northern. Yeah, before it was Burlington Northern Santa Fe. So Burlington Northern Train Company or Railroad Company. And to honor him, we used his name, Davis. And there you go. Hence Davis, the elephant. So there you go. So legitimate. That's really where it comes from. Welcome, everybody. Well, wow. We have Singapore here. We have Europe. We have Seattle with Andy. Is there ever a game you've traded, gotten rid of that you wish you hadn't? After playing Glory to Rome, I actually got rid of 5 copies of the Black Box Edition. This is before the show and everything. And I would flip games. I would, not profiteer, but I would buy them, look for good deals, flip them to be able to support the hobby, right? To be able to support us being able to buy games. And I went through 5 copies of the Black Box Edition. And thankfully, Dan was kind enough to send me his, so I now have a copy of it. No, I'm kidding. It's still his. I'm just holding it till HeavyCon. So that would probably be the one that I wish I had still, because when we did the Glory to Rome stream, which we have another one coming in February, I realized, oh, wow, I'm not burnt out on this anymore, and I would like to play it some more. So there's that. Okay. All right. Yeah, Dustin. 45 minutes of me sipping tea. Earl Grey, hot. I got my Mr. Coffee warmer over here, which I don't know if you guys are friends with Gavin Brown, the head of Roxley, on Facebook, but for his birthday, he got a coffee mug that, like, he had to update the software of his coffee mug. First off. Second, you can set it to an exact temperature and it just stays there. And I was like, I would really like one of those, until I saw they were like $140. I was like, I do not need a $140 coffee mug. No thanks. I'll deal with my $10 coffee, Mr. Coffee warmer that just keeps it tepid. I'm okay with that. We're good. All right, so let's see. Already asked that or answered that for Cave Hines. Happy Friday Eve. Exactly. And for those that don't know, back when I was working aviation, I felt there were only 3 days of the week, the work week: Monday, 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 almost Friday, Friday. Millennium Blades or Sidereal Confluence? Woo! I think Millennium Blades. Yeah. Even though I've only played Sidereal Confluence once. Yeah, Millennium Blades, that was just so enjoyable. That was nice. Yep. Going Analog says, Kalimala, let's see. Do you think the game has a first player advantage problem? I don't think so. I mean, I get that, if you get a really favorable spot, people will stack on top. But I think there's ways to mitigate it through clever play of deducing earlier what other people's goal cards are. So, no, I don't think so. Or if there is, it's a 45-minute game. So I take it the fact that you ask, you think there is Going Analog? Ryan, do you guys prefer Do you guys prefer 1822 at 4-player? Or did you just think the stream would be smoother with Tony conducting the game? A little bit of both. We think it plays really perfect at 4, but also with as long of a stream as that was going to be, he thought that would be a really good idea, and I totally agreed with him on that. Now, is that to say wouldn't play it at 5? No, absolutely. I think it's great at 5 as well, but for similar to what I did with Arkwright, with these really long, big games, I think it's better to have one of us who knows the game well to moderate kind of and GM the game. It just makes for a better stream. That's all. But yeah, 4 or 5, I think totally, absolutely. Yeah. Magnisimus, any plans on live streaming BIOS Megafauna 2, which I intentionally put it up back there because I tapped out after the first paragraph. I'll be honest. The third word, I had to look it up. The third word in the rule book, in the description, I had to look up. And I was like, really? That seems unnecessary. So, yeah. Will we do it? Maybe. Anytime soon? Not a chance. No, absolutely not. So I would say next winter at the earliest, realistically. Joshua, top 3 games you're embarrassed to admit really liking. Not a single one. Truly, I wouldn't be embarrassed to admit a single one. I mean, some people might say like games like Rococo. You guys know that we're moving to a Rococo scale for rating games. I'm kidding. But I mean, so anything with odd themes, right? But nothing that I would be embarrassed about at all, ever. Because if I like it, I like it. Why would I be embarrassed about it? Who cares, right? I mean, even if it was, what's the one? The manga or what the Japanese style, Asian style artwork with the Nazis and Barbarossa. Would I be embarrassed to say I like that? No, because if you like it, play it, enjoy it. Not to dismiss the question, don't get me wrong. Just, yeah, no, not at all. What's one of your anticipated games of 2018? I haven't gotten to that yet. My anticipation geek list. Mr. President, still number 1 that I know of. Brazil will be another. AI looks really interesting, or at least sounds really interesting. There's probably more I'm forgetting that I'm not. But yeah, start there. Top 5 18xx games for me, for Tony, Amanda. Andreas, that would make for an awesome top 6. So I'll tell you what. You wait on a top 6 and we'll give you a bonus one. Okay? We'll make it 6 instead of 5. And we'll have Tony on. It sounds like a winning combination right there, yeah? All right, deal. He's at a meeting, so he can't answer, so we're going to answer for him. All right, cool. Any plans for an upcoming Ask the Elephant? I see what you did there, Kyle. I see that. Yeah. Tony asks, since this is a patron-only stream, most important question, who's your favorite patron? You mean other than you, Tony? Other than you? Probably Mr. Fryer. I mean, and it's a safe answer. Let's see. Hey, Mike. Did Agra hit the table again, or will it? And I hope you didn't get to spend it all, get spent out on it on one playthrough. It has not, but not due to the game, because we want to actually review the game. Will it? Absolutely, it will. Probably realistically in March is when we're hoping to review the game. So yeah. Hope that's okay, because it's true. Dutch Yoda, best 18xx in print for a noob like myself to begin with. In my opinion, 46 or 89. .46 tends to be really good for Euro players coming into 18xx, and 89 is basically 1830 with a better map and plays quicker and smaller map. So it's not cheap, but I'll be honest, most 18xx's aren't going to be cheap, so come on, get your feet wet, and yeah, I'd say 89 or 46. All right, apparently it was Kenny. All right, good. Good. Ellen says, thanks for the stream of Dragon Castle yesterday. Loved the 2-player playthroughs. Yeah, it felt a little weird having Tony on this side with me, because normally it's me and Amanda, obviously. But I think mixing it up this way was pretty good. And it seemed folks enjoyed it. So true story. So the way we have this set up is on the monitor over here. I have XSplit, which is our software, right? So I monitor the stream there. Then I have a big window with chat popped out over here, and a real sliver down here of YouTube, so I can see how many people are watching, downvoting, and upvoting. And yesterday, the number of viewers wasn't showing up for us, and nobody was really chatting much, and we were like, okay, we're just going to work through this. We didn't say it, but we both kind of shared a look like, is this working? Weird. And then everybody said, yeah, it's working fine. And then we noticed there was something going on with the window to where we had to make it just wider, and then it showed up. So, yeah, whatever. But yeah, tomorrow, 1860, another 2-player, and the last one with Tony for a while, since he goes back to being a working man after tomorrow. So there's that. Oh, wow, I still got the old scroll. Wow. Here, hold on. Let's take care of this. There we go. Somebody should have said something. Sheesh. All right. Let's see. Neil says, are you familiar with GameCrafters.com, or could you recommend other small-run, print-on-demand manufacturers? I don't. That's not my cup of tea. That's a Tony thing, or honestly, either in the guild or in Slack. That would be your best bet. I don't have an answer for you, Neil, but I know there are people that are here in the chat right now that can answer that for you. Andy asks a good question here. How much goes into what you choose to stream? Is it mostly what's voted up, what you're interested in? Would you stream stuff you don't particularly like? We streamed Rising Sun, didn't we? What goes into a stream? So, first off, what are we in the mood to play? Okay, that first and foremost. Second, is there anything, obviously sponsored streams, are an exception to this rule, right? So what do we want to stream? What's been voted on pretty highly? What do I feel comfortable teaching? Do we have enough plays of? And that is probably the number one driving factor, that we have to be able to get enough plays on in previous weeks to get it comfortable to where I can at least teach the table. And it's one of those, some games I don't mind teaching people cold, meaning they've never played it before, but just from my teach, they'll be able to pick it up. That most games are like that. There are some that I say, no, we have to play this first, or else it's just not going to show well, and it's going to, I don't want, obviously, anybody that's at the table with us to be embarrassed and to struggle in front of, well, what will be thousands within the first couple weeks. And I don't want anyone to be uncomfortable like that or have to deal with that. So it's a matter of what we can stream, what do we want to stream, and what do people want to see? And is there anything that we just, oh, it's hot, maybe we bust out one of those and then we reach back for an Agricola or something like that. So hopefully that answers that. What aids on BGG are essential for gameplay? I mean, that's way too wide a question, in a sense that it depends on the game. We try and link and try and show whenever we stream games or when we review them. We try to put notes in the show notes. We links to whatever player aids, or, oh, hey, this is really useful for XYZ game or whatever. And we try and link all that. So that's way too wide a question. Although, and I want to get your guys' take on this since I have 60 plus of y'all out here. Let me ask you a question. So Sweater Mike proposed a segment or maybe a Pod Blast type series. Let me get the exact name. I know this makes for awesome watching, but give me a minute. Pimp and play segments. Now, the name probably won't fly. I get that. But basically, he came up with some ideas like, how to print and play your own 1889 or tools of the trade or organizational options or pampering your counters and cards and gaming chips and just having different little segments or pod blasts like that. I thought it was a great idea. Might have to come up with a different name because, well, yeah. But yeah, give me feedback on that. Tell me what you think about that. Okay, cool. Texas CPA, how can you be a Cowboys fan living in Colorado from a Broncos fan living in Texas? I don't believe as an adult you can change allegiances to teams. And so I grew up a Cowboy fan. My dad's from Texas, was from Texas. And so when we moved here, I root for the Broncos as long as they're not playing the Cowboys. So there's that. But it would be nice to live somewhere where I can root for the home team. Like when my team comes, I'm always like the bad guy, right? The Reds come to town to play the Rockies, following the Reds. The Ducks come to town to play the Buffs. Yep, same thing. So the Canucks come play the Avs. I'm always the bad guy. Yeah. Paul says, any thoughts on expanding the brand by bringing in more content creators under your umbrella? Not at this point. Let me rephrase that. Have there been thoughts? Sure. Is it something that we're going to do? Not in the foreseeable future. We want to consolidate first, i.e. make sure Amanda and I are both secure in this, and then we'll explore the idea. Doesn't mean it's going to happen, but we'll at least explore the idea and go from there. But anything more than that, nah, not anything in the foreseeable future. Jared, last name Davis, says he approves of the name Davis. A bootleg pledge level, right, for bootleg HC episodes. Oh, right. I forgot. Andy's in Portland, not in Seattle. Sorry, Andy. I knew that. No, I'm from Portland originally. I know that. How about playtesting games? Don't have time for it. Plain and simple, Mike. Yeah, I've been asked by a lot of friends, and we don't have time for it. If we only had one format, we probably could make the time for it, but as it is, nah, and that's not going to change. So, no, we don't play test. Yeah, and that $130 set your own temperature mug, I would die a little if it broke. Oof, $130 for a mug. And the fact that you have to update the software in the mug, that just strikes me as, okay, I think we've taken it one step too far, but I do like the idea of being able to keep it to perfect temperature. Especially during streams, because, get busy, and then by the time I get back to it, it's cold or tepid. Yeah. Now it's Earl Grey, tepid. When's the 1822 review coming? The tentative plan is either next week or the week after, but that's going to be dependent on Tony's availability, because Tony's going to be the third chair on that, so we'll see. Okay, Andrew? Andy asks, would you consider heavy cons in other cities? Already have. We have a pretty extensive wait list, and after this year, and I imagine after people talk about this year, provided they enjoy it and it was successful, which I see no reason why it wouldn't be either of, or both of those things, I imagine the wait list is going to grow considerably longer. If and when Amanda is full-time, we're going to look at a HeavyCon East or HeavyCon Europe. However, because we don't want to dilute HeavyCon as it is, part of the attraction that people have told us is they like the small feel, the small community feel of HeavyCon. And even though it's grown quite a bit this year, it's still going to have that feel. And I really don't want to extend it too much more than what it is. That's going to be entirely dependent on the attendees. That said, we also don't want to dilute the pool. So we don't want people who have been coming every year to be like, oh, Well, this one's closer. I'm going to go to this one. So that's why we're thinking about doing it kind of way out there, and meaning like in Europe as opposed to Eastern US. So we'll see. Again, we're just in the idea, but we'll see post this HeavyCon and see where things are going there. Okay, cool. Could bring in teachers that are more familiar with certain games, kind of like the Longview. Yeah, that's an option. There's a reason why Tony teaches some games. We had Michael teach one. Matt's taught a couple on the streams. Brian taught Combat Commander, but I have a finite pool of people from which to pull from, right? Who's your least favorite patron? The one who just quit. Yeah, we had a rash of them right at the end of the month, hence why we're down to 635. But it happens. Life happens. So what are your top 5 non-18xx train games? I would have to like make a list of them and then figure that out. I'm terrible at top of the head, like listing games. I am wretched at that. I mean, like Russian Railroad, Chicago Express, the Winsomes. It would be probably very heavy with Winsomes, is my guess. And when you say train games, I mean, like Wildcatters has trains in it. Does that qualify? Right? Like we would have to make qualifications for this. So, got roommate plans for HeavyCon yet? Yeah, my wife. and Asher, who's sacked out over there. Oh, good. And Mark says, I like having some streams of not strictly heavy games like Dragon Castle. I think you feel it, right? I mean, hell, we did The Climbers. And I think I feel like we've hit a really good mix. And obviously you guys will be the ultimate judges of this, but I feel like we've struck a really, really good mix of staying true to our core, but also mixing in things that folks that enjoy the types of games that we enjoy would also maybe dig, for like thinky fillers. And then on occasion, stepping out of the box and doing something like a Rising Sun, which has a lot of positive benefits. It exposes more people to heavy cardboard. It exposes more people to a different, more thoughtful way of thinking about a lot of these games, that it's a lot less overview and it's a lot more in-depth when we're talking actual reviews of these games. And things might surprise us. I mean, the battle mechanic in Rising Sun I thought was really fantastic. The rest of the game, but that one mechanism within it, the battle board there with the bidding, that was great. Loved it. The heaviest Chuddick, in your opinion, Johnny asks. I haven't played a ton. Let's see. I haven't played Motenai, I think is how you say it. So here, let's list what I have. Glory to Rome, Impulse, what else is there? What else am I forgetting other than those 3? I'm sure there are others. We'll come back to that when I get down to the chat. Deal? Adam asks, have we broken out Gaia Project yet? Not yet, but it will be both broken out and live streamed in February. John asks, have you heard anything about Cole Worley's new game he's developing about India economic? And I haven't, I'll be honest. I knew Root, obviously, but hopefully he will bring what he has to HeavyCon. He's coming to HeavyCon this year, so hopefully we'll be able to check that out. Also, now, I don't want anyone to pressure. I don't want anyone to reach out to him. Nothing. This is me trusting y'all. But I am going to ask Cole while he's here, since he's full-time now with Leader Games, I figure maybe he has a little bit more flexibility as far as his travel goes. So I'm going to ask him if either the day, like a couple days before HeavyCon or after HeavyCon, but it can only be the day after HeavyCon because I leave for the UK Games Expo a day and a half later. If he would be willing to come and teach and live stream John Company. Why not, right? So I'm going to ask him and see if we can hook that up. That would be cool. Have I mentioned the biggest surprise so far from 2017? No, I don't think we have, and that'll probably have to wait until we talk Golden Elephant Award in March, April timeframe. Probably going to be April this year. Just with the it'll probably slide into April when we make the announcements for the finalists there. And Adam says, question number 2 is, would you consider doing a stream or podcast looking back at the games you've streamed reviewed older a year ago, talking about if they've held up and if they've been played again or regularly? Absolutely. We are going to continue doing look backs. We hadn't really considered doing a look back on the streams. We have for the reviews. And actually another one of those is going to be coming in February as well. But no, I hadn't thought about the streams, but I'll make a note of that actually. Nope, made. All right. Paul asks, any plans for a coin game playthrough in the future? Yup. Colonial Twilight actually very well might happen with Tony and I sooner rather than later. I think that would be an awesome way to break in the system and then can branch out to the 4 players, stuff like Cuba Libre, whatever, and go from there. So are they planned? Yes. Are they are they scheduled yet? No, not yet. We're going to have to see how Tony's work schedule plays out first before we're able to get a couple plays in and then be able to stream it. So I would say maybe ahead of HeavyCon timeframe would be a reasonable timeframe for that. So maybe April, early May, maybe. Okay. Okay, it seems folks are on board with the pimp and play idea. Cool. All right, take care, Mike. I know you already left, but take care. Oh, okay. Apparently Blue Peg Pink Peg has something similar in theirs. Okay, but sale. Okay, yeah, cool. Seems folks dig it. And folks are saying don't change the name. You got to understand, especially with Late Night Cardboard coming with Jim and I, we're going to tackle some of these topics. However, I don't cow to I'm going to be me, but I also have to be smart. Does that make sense? So we'll chew it over. That's all I'll say. Okay? Bling yo box. I like that, Franny. I mean, pimp and play is exactly what it is. And people that get offended by that, I'm like, really? We're not bitch slapping our components. Come on. It's not that type. Here you go. Here's patrons, right? And Andrew, that was you, wasn't it, with the downvote? No, I know it wasn't. Anyway, in the 1822 teach, if you go onto YouTube, you can read one of the comments on there that said it was very jarring to hear somebody say rape and dump a company, and said that they expect better of us if we're trying to build a community. I kid you not that I probably wrote, I'm not exaggerating, or started to write 20 different responses to that, none of which actually got published. The one that did was, "Thanks for watching. Appreciate the feedback." The end. And so here, let me go on my rant for a minute. I'm pissed off that I cannot speak about certain topics for the fear of it jeopardizing my livelihood. There are certain topics within this industry that are completely off limits to a white guy, and pisses me off really bad that I cannot speak my mind openly. And to be honest, it's not controversial, anything that I'm going to say, or I don't believe what my feelings. I don't feel like any of those are controversial. However, there is a certain segment of the hobby that would scream it down and not be open to any kind of discussion. And it's just, it makes it impossible to not self-censor, which really sucks, man, because I feel like a lot of good could come from some of these conversations, and it's something that we're going to possibly tread into with over on Late Night Cardboard. We may not. We'll see. It's really unfortunate that just because I have a platform that I can't use it how I want to use it for fear of retribution, because even though I agree with a lot of the sentiment, I don't agree with the way it's delivered, and that's where I have the problem with it. But alas, here we are, right? I mean, let's go back to the Reddit thing, right? I have to be smart, which is flies in the face of how I normally have always operated my whole life. But it's reality. If I want to be able to continue to do this for a living, I cannot take that risk at this point. So here we are. And in turn, I would be risking Amanda's chance to make a living at it, just because, I'll be honest, I feel like I'm right, but I can't speak about it. So there's that. Anyway, and that goes back to the whole pimp and play. Like, get over it. Just deal with it. It's not about, anyway. So yeah. There's a comedian, Steve Hughes. I would recommend everybody going and watching it. It's 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Go into YouTube and type in the words, "I'm offended," and watch his 2 minute and 25 second little bit. And that's exactly how I feel. It's okay for you to be offended. Your morality should not be impacted, or should not be pushed upon others, whether it's a company or whether it's another individual. But it's the world we live in, and so here we are. And it's really unfortunate that a healthy, productive, constructive, just enlightening conversation simply cannot take place because I'm a white male and I don't toe the line 100%. All right, enough about that. That's really been eating at me for the last couple of weeks, and I don't really have an outlet for it. And I can't really go work out at the gym because of my ribs right now, so it just festers and it sucks. Anyway, sorry. Thanks for indulging my anyway, whatever. Hold on. Oh, innovation. That's another one. Let me get back to it. Hold on. Wow, I'm way back. Once again, I say an hour, and here we are. Neil, any chance of a patron play-in tourney to sit in on a live play? I would watch. I'll tell you what, Neil. If patrons come around, if you're in the Denver area, we've had an open door policy. Stop on by. Give us a week's heads up. provided you're cool and not overly loud. I'm a loud guy. I just have learned to temper it for the streams. Then yeah, you're more than welcome to come and sit. We've actually had one. We had two actually. The fellas from Belgium for the Great Western Trail. That was pretty cool, right? Hey, what's up, Rabbi? Hey, Tony. Tony says, so me and some pals in North Wales played John Company this week. Wow, any pointers? Because we tanked the company and all got fired after three rounds. I'll be honest, I've only played it once, and that was with Cole. So, no, there's a reason I want Cole to teach it on the live stream, because that is one game. I'm not intimidated by High Frontier. I have no problem being able to live stream and teach High Frontier. None. John Company, I'm pretty intimidated by. So I'm hoping I can get Cole to do that while he's here. So we'll see. Yeah. Heavy Tour 2018. Nice. We'll see. And HeavyCon Snowden. Okay. I dig this. By the way, Tony, I got a favor, just as an aside real quick. Are you in contact? Can you get in contact with Francis Tresham? If so, will you shoot me an email real quick? Thanks. Oh, here, it's not like it's a secret to y'all. So one of my bucket list items, like in my life, is to interview Francis Tresham for the show and for posterity. So I'm going to the UK Games Expo this year in June. I would love to be able to interview Francis Tresham. I don't know if he comes to the UK Games Expo anymore, but I would be willing to fly up early to go wherever he is, go to his house, and record there if somebody can help me set that up. Whether it's Jeroen, whether it's Tony, someone, Richard, whoever, please. Anyway, let's see. Steve's talking about Print and Plane, 18 Africa, and how they use cutting out tiles. There's a rotary cutter I know people use that works pretty well. There's actually a thread on BGG on how to cut train tiles into like strips, and pretty cool. Again, not my cup of, not my cup of tea, but yeah, check that out if so. Andy says Indonesia's my favorite train game without trains. All right, so innovation was the fourth one that I forgot. So getting back to the Carl Chuddick question. So Glory to Rome, innovation, which I've only played once. I have a copy, thanks to Kyle, but innovation, Glory to Rome, Impulse, and Motenai. And the heaviest of them? I mean, of the three I play, probably Glory to Rome. It's not a heavy game. None of them are heavy, but it's a matter of the better you get, the more you know the cards, and then planning and playing the other players. I feel like, yeah, I would say Glory to Rome, the original. Yeah, there. Alan says or asks if HCHQ had an Amazon Dash button, a single button you press that orders and ships an item from Amazon instantly. What would that one item be? Lately, microphone clips. Dude, those things are not cheap. These things right here. Like right there. Not the microphone here, but this piece right there. Dude. So I broke down, pun intended, and bought some metal ones instead of the plastic ones. $35 for 3 of these things. But I figure they're Michael and Matt proof. Those seem to be the guys that are most Dave broke one. We went through a lot of these. They're expensive after a while, so I got a few metal ones, and so far they're holding up. So, so that of late. But what would HCHQ? What else would we? Paper for the printer, for all my notes. I mean, Feudum was a 19-page script, right? Outline or teaching notes. Tea and coffee would also be high on the list. The way we're powering through t-shirts. Hey buddy, what's up? Come here. You want to come say hi? Come here. Nope. Nope. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes. Hey. Well, you're cold. Asher cameo. Oh, you can see how sleepy he is. What's up, old man? Oh, lean into it. Sorry, Asher break. Priorities, guys. Plus, let's face it, half y'all are more excited about him than me, so. Oh. Ah, all right. Let me get back to work, okay? Go. Go lay down. Go. All right, cool. What else would we? Yeah, microphone clips, paper, coffee, tea. Yeah, those would be the Amazon Dash button ones. Good call. Yeah, well played, Mark. It would be for the $130 coffee. I can't. I don't care how much money I was making at anything. I couldn't just. That'd be one of those where I just draw the line and say no. I would never buy that. This is, I expect this question a lot in the upcoming weeks and months. Do you think it'd be feasible to do a live from HeavyCon stream? I don't, because you guys have to understand how much, like, we have to have a really good internet feed to be able to do this. And you guys have seen it go down a number of times thanks to Comcast. We could lug the stuff to HeavyCon and set it up, but realistically, probably what would happen is we would ask people to take some time out of their day, come back here, and have, whether it's, you know, some of the names as well as patrons and stuff like that, and just have a mix of folks. That would be the more realistic option, I think. Although there is part of what we're waiting to sign and announce that may come into play with that. So we'll see. Okay. But unlikely. It would probably be coming back to HCHQ because it's about 20 minutes away. All right. 25 minutes. Oh, Family McManus. Do me a favor, shoot me an email and I will address that. It's possible I missed sending an invite. I'm usually pretty good about that because that's very much a manual process. Usually when people join Patreon at the $5 or up level, I immediately go and send them their invite after I write their welcome message to them. So yeah, it's possible I missed it. Sorry about that. So Andy says, yeah, there's topics I just can't talk about, which is stupid, just totally stupid. Anyway, Spencer says, on a related note, now that you've turned your hobby into your job, how is it affecting your enjoyment of the hobby? I don't think it has. I thoroughly enjoy every aspect of this, except for how far I fall behind on emails. Really, that's about it. I still love playing games. I love that we can, on a weekly basis, set our own schedule. You know what? If we want to throttle things back, we can. If we want to go, balls to the wall, we can do so. Yeah, I feel like, and I'm going to be sending that survey out to y'all to find out what content you guys are enjoying, what you're not getting enough of, what you're getting too much of, that type stuff, to try and tailor things, because obviously you guys are our core audience that we want to make sure we're hitting on. And like I said, this month is going to be much more focused on the podcast than since the video side got featured so much in December and January. So that said, I thoroughly enjoy playing games. I'm excited to go back traveling to conventions. I'll be honest, if you would have asked me that same question at the end of BGGCon, I would have been like, if I don't travel to another convention for another year, I'd be okay with that. But I've since rested from that. I've recouped, and I'm excited to go cover more conventions now for you guys, which leads to the next question. What exactly do you guys want to hear about at conventions? Specifics. What do you want to hear about in given conventions? Hear about, see, etc., etc. So let me know that. There are certain words that in the context of Fringe, your smack talk are fine to use, but with a wider audience, yeah, totally. And even, I'll be honest, even on the Glory to Rome streams, we have to self-edit to a point. But that said, it's kind of nice to be able to do those once in a while and just let loose. And not, again, I don't feel like the Glory to Rome one was egregious or, forced or over the top. It was just a lot more natural. Hey, Richard. That's a fair point, Franny. Tony actually, as soon as he said it, he was like, oh boy. Yep. So has our crew gotten 4X back to the table after our first looks? We have not. Now, that's somewhat intentional. Not really that it hasn't hit the table, but we intentionally were asked to delay doing a playthrough or anything else of that nature to help out the guys over at, or Tom and Mary over at Hollenspiel, because of the fact that they were going to get a bunch of initial orders up front and then, try and have a second rebound when we do a playthrough, which that makes sense. So we were just going to postpone it and do it down the road. Yeah, Michael brings up a good point. We seem to be in if you're not with me, you must be against me culture. And yeah, that's really a shame that's the how things seem to be. Like, it's okay to disagree. It's healthy to disagree. As long as you can respect one another for having a disagreement, it's okay. Like, we've had a number of them. Like, Andy and I have had a number of disagreements, but I respect his point of view. He respects mine. And here we are. We're adults. Who'da thunk it? Anyway. Oh, good. Okay. Cool. Richard, hook me up, please. So Richard says he's got Francis Tresham's contact info. Dude, Richard, you are a wealth of information. Thank you. Which 18XX do I enjoy the most and why? Anyone can see this ass. And I don't think this is going to be a surprise to anybody, but 1822. I really, really loved. I love the auctions throughout, the candy, and how you can deviate from your plan, but it's a constant temptation. I was blown away at how much I liked 18ZZ, especially, at 2 players. It was amazing. So that could potentially become a favorite. 49 was really cool. 41. So those are the recent streams actually we've done. 41 is companies that can start companies. So that's one level further than I'm willing to go right now, or that I'm comfortable being able to play well, or even competently. 1817 or 18 USA, which is 1817 on a more interesting map that just, I think today, became available over at All Aboard Games. I've yet to play it. I have it. I want to play it. Just we have to block out an entire day to do so. So we'll get to it. And I'm curious to see if I end up loving that or not, because that is kind of the model, the one that's on the pillar for the financier side of 18xx. Oh, hey, Randall. Yeah, so for Randall stopped by today, actually, to pick up some of his swag. He lives over on the other side of the Continental Divide, other side of the mountains, about 4 hours away in Grand Junction. And he was here visiting family. He's like, hey, I'm here. Can I come by? I was like, absolutely, dude. So I gave him the grand tour, and he saw how spacious the studio is. And that's one thing that, and this is kind of why I don't like the idea of showing off the behind the scenes stuff of the studio, because we have the illusion of movie magic kind of like with all this, right? And I want you guys to see the professional side of things. I want you to see this. This looks really good. I'm very proud of this. But it's not nearly as big as you guys think it is. And up there, that's where everything's hanging down. I mean, I've sent out a couple pictures here or there, and that side's going to get the second studio, but it's going to remove some of the movie magic. And I don't know. I know it's cool to have the behind the scenes, but I kind of want to keep that. What's the term? Not aloof, but I just want it to make it feel movie magic kind of. And so, but eventually once we finish everything, then I'm going to be like, screw it, here's where everything is. And I thought it was really interesting seeing Vassal go through the house they've rented for their studios. And I was just, it's impressive. We just have one little Jack and Jill bedroom that we've converted into a studio here. It's just, yeah, different scales of things, I guess. But yeah, I'm real happy with the way this is coming along, but not there yet. It will be before HeavyCon, though, let me tell you. Michael, you have the right to be wrong. He says English breakfast is better than Earl Grey. Funny story. Before the trip to Essen this year, did not like Earl Grey. Then I ended up having to drink a lot of it, especially in the Netherlands, because it seems like that was the thing, and I got a taste for it. Maybe that's why I need to do a beer. Just drink it, even though it tastes horrible. I'll drink wine. I'll drink liquor, but yeah. And maybe it just a switch flips, and maybe that's how you get it. But yeah, I really enjoy Earl Grey. But I am very I am an omni tea drinker. Everything from like mint and lemon to constant comment to loose leaf to the whole 9 yards. I'll pretty much drink just about everything. Although there were some Asian teas that tasted like seawater. That wasn't like seaweed. Wasn't a fan of those. And now I've caught up to all the Asher stuff. Can we do an Ask the Asher? Probably not. If you're coming to HeavyCon, you're likely to meet him. And I say likely. So every year he's been at HeavyCon so far, but his back legs, his back hips he's old. I mean, he's 13. So he's starting to, I'm worried about 4 straight days of constant busyness around him. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, whether or not he's up for it or not. But the plan is him to have his bed in at HeavyCon and lay down in his food bowl, his water bowl, and just let him wander around HeavyCon, which is what we did last year. So, yeah, that's the plan. We'll see if he's up for it. He's on a regimen of gabapentin 3-4 times a day now, and it's helping him. He'll play for about 30 seconds a day, and then he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm all set. But sometimes his back hips are really bugging him. Nick says, as excited as I am to someday meet Edward and Amanda in person, I really want to pet Asher. So here, for those that don't know, greyhounds sleep with their eyes open, and sometimes they can be sleep startled. So with greyhounds, if you're approaching them and they're laying down and their eyes are open, call their name and make sure they respond. Don't just be like, okay, I called. No. Greyhounds don't like to be startled from their sleep. They will snap at you. And then Asher will look at you like, I am so sorry. I am just embarrassed to all get out at what I just did. I'm sorry. But he can't help himself because that's part of the thing with greyhounds. So just be aware of that. Okay. Nice, Kenny. No, we are not moving to the Ocho over on ESPN. Hey, what's up? What's up there, QB? Yes, you see the Seize the Beam prototype back here. So we're going to be live streaming that the last few days of the campaign for the Seize the Bean folks, for Quality Beast there. Also a patron. Thank you, Dylan. I'm excited about it. Definitely stoked about the deck builder to have the most hip coffee house in Berlin. I think that'd be cool. Now I want to go to Berlin and see, is this really what it's like there? Like, is there a big competition for reviews? I'm curious. Cool. Hey, Brent, thanks. He says, I just wanted to say again, thanks for all y'all do. I love the channel. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you, Richard, for sending me that. That's just a cool-ass sentence. Let me stop for a minute. Francis Tresham contact details sent to you, Edward. There are certain moments within what I get to do here that, like, dude, that's Francis Tresham, right? That's cool. So thank you for that, Richard. Awesome. That's truly one of my bucket list things for, I feel like is really important for the hobby. That somebody get a recording of him and get his thoughts and delve in, you know, if he's willing to sit with me for an hour, 90 minutes and really talk about, you know, his designs and stuff. I think that would be important for the hobby because let's face it, like Richard said, guy doesn't drive anymore. He's too old. We don't all live forever. So Texas CPA says, I may have missed this in another episode, but why HeavyCon during the same weekend as BGG Con Spring? Actually, you have that backwards, sir. HeavyCon's been going on longer than BGG Con Spring, and that's because Memorial Day weekend. One less day people have to take off of work for traveling home. It allows us to do a 4-day con. So if they moved it to Memorial Day weekend, you have choices to make, but that's not going to change. So blame BGG on that one. That's not me or us. Do you feel there are just too many board games coming out now? I understand different strokes for different folks, but there are so many games. I feel even good games are being overlooked and won't last, Brent asks. And yeah, that makes total sense. And I hesitate to say that there are too many. I don't feel like there are too many good games being made. And part of what we do and part of what's important, I feel, in what we do is exactly for that reason. You being average Joe, meaning just somebody that plays board games, right? Literally impossible for you to cover or to go through and find all the good games. Hell, it's impossible for me to do that, and I do it full time. But because we have just a certain aspect of the hobby, I feel like we do a pretty good job of being able to, over the course of, say, 6 months following Essen, which is the majority of the time when games come out, not always, you get the idea, Lisboa came out early, etc. I feel like we do a pretty good job of helping steer people in both directions. And I forget who it was that said it in Slack earlier yesterday, said that they watched our playthrough of Dragon Castle and they really enjoyed the playthrough, and just like Azul playthrough, it helped convince them to not buy the game. Mission accomplished. Our job is not to push games. And here, so Dylan's in here from Quality Beast, the guys with Seize the Bean. I would expect that he would say the exact same thing. And if Tony is still here with Surprise Stare his games, I think he would say the same thing, that yes, it's awesome to be able to sell, for us to be able to motivate people to sell their games, right? When we do a playthrough of whatever or a review of it on the podcast. However, that's not our goal. And they want people to be excited about their game. If somebody feels, wow, I see that, I really don't like that about that game, and that's going to be a deal breaker for me, then everybody in that transaction right there is happy. And by transaction, I mean us showing the game, the publisher, the designer, and the person on your end, the consumer side of things. Everybody wins in that. We save you the money from not having to spend it on something you wouldn't enjoy. We're just showing the game, so it's more an informational thing. And the publisher and designer are happy because now you won't have a bad experience with one of their products. So it's a win-win-win all the way around. So when I feel like it's as important for us to steer people away from games as it is to games. And I feel like we present them in a way, both with the reviews as well as the playthroughs, that to help you guys make your own decisions. And if we're doing that, then check. Mission accomplished. That's what we're going for. So awesome if that's the case. So do I feel like there are too many games coming out? No. Do I feel... I don't feel like there are too many good games coming out. It's just a matter of weeding them out, and that gets harder as more games come out. But I'm not going to say that somebody shouldn't create something. How's that? Look at me being PC. All right, so circling back, Philip says, I want to hear about the games and the vibe of the conventions. I'd love to see demos or some kind of videos of heavy games that you see at cons. That would be a nice preview of upcoming games. We're going to try and work on that more, Nick, especially on the video side. Video is just harder for us because all the video that we do right now is live, and that's what... No way. Okay. Should I let the cat out of the bag, or should I... Wow, that's really exciting. Hold on, I'll let the cat out of the bag. I totally lost my train of thought. Video. And so us putting together, like editing video, none of us have done this before. And we don't exactly know how to do that. So that's going to be part of the learning curve. So we want to, especially at stuff like at LyriaCon, and at Gamma, we're going to try to film some stuff and see how it goes. And definitely the audio side of things, but the video, we'll do the best we can as we learn as we go. How's that? Who do you wish was coming to HeavyCon but isn't? Designer, publisher, podcaster? All right, this one's another safe and easy answer for me. So the whole reason we're going to LyriaCon, I've told this story, I think, on the show before. But LyriaCon came about in Essen 2016. So I was at the What's Your Game booth, and Nuno and Paulo were there, obviously. And I was like, hey, when are you guys coming to HeavyCon? And they said, when are you coming to LyriaCon? And I said, so if I come, you'll come? They said, yes. I said, done. And they're both honorable fellas. And so I was like, all right, I'm coming. And they're like, in 2017? I said, no, in 2018. And I said, so you guys are on the hook. And unfortunately, I'm not going to force them to, obviously, this year. So it doesn't sound like they're going to make it this year, but they are on the hook for 2019. So there's that. So as far as like the names, as far as I would love for everybody, all our patrons, to make it to HeavyCon. It would kind of defeat the idea of what HeavyCon is with a small, little convention, but I still think it'd be cool to meet everybody. That would be really, really cool. But hopefully over the course of the heavy cardboards around the game day around the world, which, by the way, enough people have spoken, 100% said keep it. So we're keeping it. Easy enough. All right. We just thought maybe it wasn't as exciting for y'all. Sounds like it is. So absolutely, we will keep that. We do the first one in June. We're going to Sweden after the UK Games Expo. Actually, I am going to the UK Games Expo. Then Amanda will have to fly by herself to Sweden. I will meet her in Sweden. Then we will hang out in Sweden. And then we both go home. Well, she's probably going to be coming back to the house. I will be going to Origins straight from that. So HeavyCon, UK Games Expo, to Sweden, to Origins, to home. It's going to be quite the gauntlet there. And unfortunately, Amanda's only probably going to make it to HeavyCon and Sweden out of all that. But anyway, yeah, I think it'd be cool to meet all our patrons. I think that'd be awesome. I would love to have just like a HeavyCon, like Heavy Cardboard Patron Con. That would be cool. Anyway. Speaking of weird small stuff from Japan, Taiwan, sitting right over here. It's the map for Tokyo Metro. It's Tokyo Metro. So I realize Jordan's not Japanese, but you get the idea. Anyway, that's coming. That's cool. Looking forward to that. But yes, I agree. So hear about the games and the vibe. That seems to be, and if we can take video of said games, would be awesome, especially the games that are in our wheelhouse. It gives us a direction to focus on. And it seemed like folks like hearing about from different people at the various conventions as well. So we're going to do more of that as well. Jeff asks, is 1822 an advanced 18XX? I think so. Yes, I think that definitely is a safe term. Yeah, I'm surprised how much I like the 18CZ 2-player as well, Andy. I thought it played as a great 18XX and not as a great 2-player 18XX. So that was really surprising to me as well. That's awesome, Franny. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I definitely try and self-censor during the streams, which I feel like I've done pretty good, and I still do on the Glory to Rome, because we can take it pretty far out there, depending on who's around the table. But yeah, it's yeah. Holy cow. All right, let's see. Andy says we probably spent more on our basement than the house cost that Tom has for a dice tower. That's funny. All right. Do I have a favorite whiskey? Benjamin asks. Sadly, I'm not a real big whiskey drinker. Like Scotch, can't stand it. it's wasted on me. And I tell anybody that offers me a dram, I'm like, thanks, but just wasted on me. I've tried. I just don't like it. Whiskey, otherwise, like I'll enjoy a decent cocktail, but I don't like straight whiskey. Just never been my thing. I'll enjoy a good Malbec or a Syrah, good red wine. But yeah, sorry. Franny says, ever come to Birmingham? I'm sorry, Birmingham. I'll take you to a pub where they have 20 real ales. I'm coming to the UK Games Expo. Come on, let's do this. Yeah, seriously, Franny, handle the meetup. If I'm being dead serious. Also, you know what? Hasn't been announced. I can't mention that. Let's just say Friday night. Don't make plans at UK Games Expo. That's all I can say. So Adam brings up a good question here. The $10 pledge is 150 Canadian a year, which is too much for me. Adam's a $5 patron, but I'm interested in the teaching notes. Speaking of which, I've gotten dick for feedback on those guys. What's up with that? Is nobody using them? Tell me, are you liking them? Do you not? Is it a waste? A lot of work's going into these, so give us feedback, please. He says, would you consider selling a yearly subscription to Notes as an add-on? I will write that down. We've actually kind of talked about this, but that's kind of tricky, how to allow access on this stuff. But we think we may have figured something out, so I'll just... All right, note made. There we go. Cool. Rose hip tea once. No, rose water. Nope. Yep. I've been keeping all these up, so the links will be available, Brent. All right. Take care, Neil. Thanks, James. That's very kind of you. And I'll be honest, I mean, take your rune, right, from Splatter. He stopped going to BGGCon because he'd rather come to HeavyCon. That was pretty awesome to hear. Ooh, Michael. Ordered green tea in Japan. It was ground up grass in a cup. No, thanks. All right, let's see. Do you feel like 2017 was a weak year for board games on a heavier end? I feel like the last couple of years have not been as good as the years previous. Yeah, I wouldn't say a weak year. It's just it wasn't as wow as I feel like 2015, 2014, 2013 were. I feel like 13 to 15 were really good. And then it's kind of tailed off, but that's not to say there aren't amazing games that came out in those years, just not as many. So I'm willing to bet that that's kind of what you're getting at, James. So yeah, in that respect, kind of. Oh, Ryan says Memorial Day weekends during spring planting. No HeavyCon for me. That makes me sad, Ryan. Like, are you on a farm? Like, being legit. Like, really? That's cool. That's cool. Yes, that Francis Tresham. Actually, Mike and his wife Denise, Sweater Mike, have been playing the heck out of Dutch Revolt. So I plan on getting through a lot of Francis's games before going, provided I can hook up that interview and talk about nerves. Woo! Speaking of which, I think I mentioned this in last week's podcast, but we're going to mention it again in tonight's, that I'm going to be interviewing someone in front of a live audience for the first time ever. Paul Dean from Shut Up and Sit Down. He's the featured guest like we were last year at Arizona Game Fair. And so they have a theater, and I've been asked to interview. And cool. that should be fun. But little nervous about that. And the Francis Tresham, I was intimidated in interviewing John Bohr, which shouldn't have been because he's actually a pretty cool dude. But I think Francis Tresham might elevate that to where I'm a little nervous. I ain't gonna lie. So anyway. Eric asked, do you keep a ongoing, we really need to get back to that game list? And how often do you get the chance to check those off? We don't have a formal list. That may change, but yeah. We have, like, there's a portion of the library where we're like, we need to get that back to the table. Oh, we haven't streamed that yet. Why don't we get that back to the table so we can stream it next week? That type thing. That's kind of how that evolution works. Are we really good about doing that? Not as good as we want, but yeah, it's one that it's kind of a work in progress. And Dylan, Quality B says, we love that you aren't a salesperson. You're showing the transparency of a game. We totally agree. That's the best of it all. And see, exactly what I meant. Publishers and designers want people to, obviously, they want everybody to like their game, but it's not going to happen, just like a lot of people don't like us. However, they want people to be excited about the game, and the people that are excited are the people that want to have the game. And so turning somebody off of a game by showing them how it plays, you're doing a service to everybody involved. And that's the awesome thing. That's why we don't think of ourselves as like some big hype machine. Like, I mean, look at what we did with Rising Sun, or, we're not about Gentis or anything like that. It's just, yeah, it's a solid, good midweight Euro with a really cool time mechanic in it. If that sounds good, get it. If not, don't. Right? So, cool. A couple people are sorting and stickering Wildcatters and Pixie Queen. Awesome. Very nice. Kyle says, what about an Ask the Elephant focused on a specific game or an agenda of games? It'd be fun to have the herd really pick you and Amanda's brains on Splatter game. Ooh. See, that's what I'm talking about. Get another note here. That'd make for an awesome podcast content, too. Good call. Awesome. All right. Cool. Let's see. Jose says he has a friend in Germany who got both games for him. Very nice. Wildcatters, Pixie Queen. Dylan's going to be at UK Games Expo. Awesome. And John says he can make HeavyCon 2019. Good stuff. Yes, and Kenny says, glad HeavyCon's at the start while you still have energy. Yeah. The good news, though, is Sweden's going to be pretty low-key, right? We're going to have a game day or two or whatever, and we're going to, travel around the country a little bit, and then, it should be pretty low-key, kind of like how the Netherlands was, right? We had the Dutch game day there. So we were still pretty fresh there. So I think we'll be okay. And by we, I mean. Darren, no such thing. No such thing. PatronCon 2019. Exactly, Kenny. Any update on Texas visit? No, I got to email him. I will take care of that. Right. Okay, cool. I'm scared to ask Ashbourne what is Surströmming? I don't know what that is, but if somebody with an O in their name with a line through it is warning me off on something that I can't pronounce, I'm probably just going to take your word for it and just stay away. Okay? How's that? Okay? It's banned bringing it aboard flights. Yeah, I think I'm all set. Is this the one that people eat it outdoors? Like it's fermented rotten fish or something like that, I think. Oof. Oh. All right, cool. Space Monkey's here. That's who won the. Yes, we will arrange that for sure. Yes. Probably after next week when I get back, we'll start reaching out and trying to plan exactly when, where, and all the details of the Sweden trip. That's awesome, Franny. That's funny. When's the next Age of Steam map play? We can probably bust out one or two later on this month. And Jeff, no, you know what I want to know from Paul Dean. Has he ever played Age of Steam? Because they gave it a bit of a crap review when they ran through the top 100. I'll add it to my interview stuff. All right. Yeah, 1 hour. This is too. I'm gonna get in so much trouble. Have you ever gotten into any CCGs or LCGs? I used to be into Magic back in the day a bit, not like super heavy, but I enjoyed like booster drafts, stuff like that. Sold my collection 10, 12 years ago, went to Gen Con in 2013, had no idea Magic was still a big thing, and it's bigger than ever. Blew me away. As far as LCGs, Amanda and I messed around with Game of Thrones, but just kind of dabbled, and I have no interest in chasing the dragon in that respect with constant every 3 months new stuff coming out. Just I don't have time for that. No, actually, Kenny, he's talking about Reef Encounter from eye level down to the we should stream this section. Reef Encounter, we have already talked, Amanda and I. As soon as she is full time, that's our first stream, is Reef Encounter. Thought that would be a really fun one to kind of break it in. So, nope, Reef Encounter is on hold until that happens. It's not holding it hostage, just it's fact. Okay, corn, bean, and sunflower farming in South Dakota. Harvest kills Essen for me indefinitely. Oh, man. All right. Well, you know what, Ryan? If you ever just have a free weekend, you want to come on down to Denver, we'll hook it up a game day for you. So just come on down since you can't make either of those, okay? Take care, everybody that had to leave. Space Monkey says, okay, the Sir Strawmean will not happen. Never tried it, never will. Thank you. Preemptively. Thank you. That's funny, Jeff. Spent an hour perusing the geek market to find a copy of Age of Steam in the UK to buy it and have it sent to Shut Up and Sit Down after that. See? I'm getting in trouble from Amanda. Hi. It'll be done in time, I promise. All right. So apparently we got the paperwork. So Amanda, if you're still here, you okay with me telling 47 of our closest friends about it? I'm stalling to see if she answers. No. All right. Well, Mama said not until it's signed. Sorry, guys. Okay. All right. Wow. Somebody's grumpy. All right. So now, you know what? it'll probably have to wait until the episode tonight, so you guys listen to that there, because everything should be done by then. So sorry, boss has spoken. All right, I gotta get to work. This was fun. Okay, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So everybody, thank Jeff. Jeff, thank you. So if the episode is late, Jeff, no, I'm totally messing. Plus, I'm out of tea. All right, you guys go. Have a good rest of your day. The episode's dropping tonight, 1860 tomorrow, 10 a.m. my time, local time. That's 1700 UTC. And then Saturday morning, we have Tokyo Metro. All right, so cool. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, thanks again for the support, y'all. Really does mean a lot. All right, keep it up. Talk to y'all later. Bye.